Quitting your job in 2023 to trade full-time. In this video, that's what we're going to be discussing. We're going to be going over a 3-step plan for you to be able to do that. And this 3-step guide is basically based on how I actually did it. I think I did a pretty adequate job. So at the end of this video, I think you should have a very good understanding of how you are going to be able to quit your job and transition into full-time trading, and if that's even going to be a possibility for you next year or not. I think I have enough authority to talk about this topic, as in August of 2021, I fully quit my corporate job to trade full-time. It was the most anxiety-filled day of my life. I remember calling one of my friends who was also a trader and just saying, man, I'm about to have a panic attack. I could not believe it that I actually sent in my resignation letter, but I was fed up and tired of working. I was just fed up and tired. I had my personal reasons of why I wanted to quit my job. I wanted to trade full-time. I wanted the time freedom. That was one of the things that was the most important to me. I wasn't really even looking at it from a financial aspect. I just wanted my time freedom. So I had a really strong why, and in August 11th of 2021, I fully quit my job. It was a very scary moment, but I had some steps in place. I had a little plan. I had these 3 steps that I'm about to break down for you. I had already achieved those 3 steps. So deep down, I knew I had done the homework and the preparation for me to actually take that step. But even then, it was an extremely anxiety-filled day, a week. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if I was going to be able to push through. So let's cover them. Do me a favor, like the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. All right, I'm going to give you my first bonus tip before we actually even go into the 3-step guide. And that bonus tip is, before you think about quitting your job, think about having another source of income, okay? When you are trading full-time in the beginning, but you don't have any other sources of income, there's going to be a lot of pressure on you. There's going to be a lot of pressure on you to make money. Even if you have money saved up, you're going to want to make more money. And that pressure is really going to conflict with your trading, right? It's going to create a lot of problems with the decisions that you make when you're trading. So you need to have just one other source of income can really help you, even if it's a part-time job, even if it's a weekend job, even if it's driving, I don't know, Uber sometimes, whatever it may be. Anything where any other income is coming from can really help you with this transition a lot. I personally believe the first 6 months are the toughest, and that's when you're going to have a lot of pressure on you, and having that other source of income can really keep you pushing through those losing weeks. You may even have a losing month, and you may have a time when you lose some capital, having that extra income paying the bills. So let's dive into step number 1 for you to be able to quit your job and transition into a full-time day trader. This is going to be in 2 parts. The first part is, can you actually trade? Can you make between 2 to 6% on average every single month? So you're going to have some months where you're going to make 0. You're going to have some months where you're going to make 10%. You may make 8%, but just looking at an average, what I think is adequate is between 2 to 6%. Now, how I'm calculating this is, do you have enough capital? So when I actually quit my job, I had a small personal account, but it wasn't enough. See, if I had just the personal account and I was to make 2 to 6%, was that going to be able to pay my bills and keep up with my living costs? No, it was not. So when I actually quit my job, I had $700,000 in funding. So what you need to do is calculate how much funding do you need. It may be from a prop firm, it may be some live capital, or maybe a mixture of both is probably better. And if you make 2% at the worst case scenario from those funding companies or that live account, can you pay your bills? If you make 5% from that capital, can you pay your bills, and can you live, and can you have a little bit of money saved on the side? Because what's the point of trading when you're really not even saving any money and you're barely getting by? Like, if you don't really have any money saved up at the end of the month when you're trading full time, I don't think that's a good position to be in. So the way you need to calculate it is 2 to 6% from your live account or some funding companies. Will that be enough for you to cover your monthly expenses and maybe have a little bit of cushion aside in case you need to buy more challenges later, in case you need to put some more money into your live account at some point when things go bad? You need to be ready for that, and you need to have a number that was set down. My actual goal, so my personal goal actually for when I wanted to quit my job was actually $300,000, and I took it all the way to $700,000 before I quit my job because I was so worried that maybe $300,000 wouldn't be enough. Maybe I would lose all the accounts. So that's step number 1. All right, step number 2 is, do you actually have enough financial cushion to live off of for about 6 to 8 months? So what I did personally for myself was I calculated how much it actually cost for me to live every single month. So this included my mortgage, my insurance, my phone bills, going out, restaurants, groceries, whatever it was. I put down a number on a piece of paper, what I thought it cost me every single month to live, and then I multiplied it by 6. And the reason I did that was so I had 6 months of living expenses in my pocket. This is so I wouldn't have any pressure when I quit my job. Number two, if anything were to go bad, I could lose my live funded accounts, which I actually did. You could get sick. Something could happen where you aren't able to trade or you're not trading well. Are you gonna be able to live for the next 6 months if you make $0 from trading? If things get really bad, right? If you're working a really good job and you decide to resign from a really good job in 2023 while the world is going through a recession, there's probably a lot of layoffs coming in. You might not be able to get that job back. So the last 2 months, if you're not really doing too good, you may need to search for another job. You may need to search for a part-time job. You want to at least, I wanted to make sure I could have gas in my car the last month if everything went bad, right? So you need to come up with the number of what you spend every single month, maybe add a couple $100s to it, and then multiply it by 6 and make sure that you have that money. Now, luckily enough for me, I had just gotten a really big payout from FTMO, around $30,000, and I had a bunch of other payouts, which I was saving up because I was using my employment income to pay my month-to-month bills, but any of the withdrawals that I was getting, I was saving those up, and I had 6 months saved up when I actually quit on August the 11th. Step number 3, and this one I really got a chance to explore this year because this was a full year in 2022 where I actually just traded full-time for a living, was why do you really want to even be a full-time day trader? Like, why do you want to do this with your time, and how are you going to manage it? See, I had a really strong why, and if you don't have a really strong why, this is going to be a very difficult path for you. Now, this may have been due to my previous employment history, my self-employment history, but I really wanted time freedom. That was the most and uttermost important thing to me. I just wanted to be able to do what I want, when I want, where I want, with who I want, and be able to travel freely, not have to ask my boss for days off. And that was kind of one of the major reasons I pushed for this to happen. But you need to realize, like, when you actually get serious with your trading, you have a lot of capital, you may only want to take a few trades a week, some really good A+ setups, and you may really only be doing 2 hours, 3 hours, or 1 hour of screen time a day. But what are you really going to do with the rest of your time? Do you have any goals that you want to do? Are there any other passion projects that you want to work on? Because you're going to have a whole lot of time on your hand, and if you aren't utilizing it, you're going to end up on the charts just taking trades for no reason, and it's not going to work out for you. You need to have a plan for the rest of your day. Like, what else are you going to be working on? Are you going to be working on another business? Are you going to be doing something on the side? Do you need that time to do something else? Because I feel like trading does not require a full 40 hours a week or 30 hours a week, or maybe not even 20 hours a week. So what is it that you're really going to be doing with your time? What's the reason you want to do this, right? Do you have a really good job that you might be quitting, and why do you want to quit that job? I personally feel that trading is not going to make you a multi-millionaire. So you just need to know, what is your end goal? Is your goal just that I want to quit my job and replace my employment income? It seems really good now, but eventually your end goal actually may be, for a lot of you, I know, is going to be, I just want to quit my job, supplement my income, and have that time freedom. That's what I wanted, but that really changed for me, and it's going to change for you. So you need to really know, what is it really that you want? Do you want to become wealthy? How are you going to do that? You're going to have a lot of free time, so you're going to have a lot of time to be creative. Are you the type of person that's going to be able to take more risk and create other sources of income and do other things with your time, which I think is very important. Not a lot of people think about this. I didn't really think about this when I quit my job, but I did get a chance to really think about it in 2022, and I thought this was a really important aspect, because there's still going to be a lot of highs and lows. There's still going to be life is still going to be tough. Just because you're trading full-time and making money does not mean that everything is just a breeze, because it's definitely not. So this is one really important step you need to think about. Let me know what you guys thought about these 3 steps to quitting your job, and which one is the most important one for you to hit first.